Hello and welcome. Wow, what a day. So if anybody's been following Tesla at all for the last couple of weeks at least, you know we were struggling pretty hard in the 800s, and finally on Friday pushed through and was able to get up into the 9s and hold on to it, and we closed just under 910, I believe. And then today, oh my gosh, that Hertz rental story come out, and pre-market, I think we got up into the 950s. Yeah, so pre-market high 953, and then we opened, bounced around a bit, dropped down just under 945, and then just started another run. Pretty typical hard run, pull back, hard run, pull back, and then a massive run from just under. It's like once we broke 1,000, then it just jump, hit 1,045. Crazy day. Congratulations to anybody that's holding Tesla long term. Like, we are at the trillion dollar market cap level. I was going to try and get that pulled up here. So fundamentals, I think if we go here, it should show us market cap 1 trillion 31 billion and a half. So just over $1 trillion. That's absolutely insane. Like, in theory, this shouldn't have happened for quite a while. But it seems like that's what the people wanted it. So here we are. At the beginning of the day, I was watching this 950 and 940 level and thinking, well, maybe we're gonna, have another struggle like in the 8s and get stuck around 950 for a while, and we may even pull back down to 900. That's at least what I was thinking would have been the most logical play, just the way the past few weeks have gone. So I was waiting for a pretty hard sell-off, and that just did not happen. So it's definitely been an eventful day. I was trying to watch this DWAC, see what happened there. They got halted right there in the morning, and halts, they're tricky to play. Sometimes they gap up and just start a massive run. Looks like this was the opposite. That halt killed the momentum, and it fell, tried to get back up over 100, and then came down into the 80s. So, that one's been a little disappointing. Thankfully, I don't own any shares of that, but Tesla is without a doubt the story of the day. So we're up, what, 13%, up $120 on the day, which, 10 shares, that makes it easy to do the math, but when we're at the 120 up for the day, that puts a $1,200 up day just on 10 shares. And this the average price that they're showing here, that's a glitch in the system. I think my average price is just under 500. I know the last shares I bought were, I think, in the 450s or 475. I don't precisely remember, but had a few trades go wonky, and the way they cycled through the Thinkorswim system, it messed up my displayed average price, but it shows my total P&L at 5,300, which divided that by 10 shares, that's up 530 per share, and say we're at 1025, that will be conservative. So yeah, should be right about 500 for my average price. I'm giddy today. Got some weird popping in my ears. But man, this has been insane to watch. So here's the other downside if you're an options trader. Most of the time the market doesn't have everything in place for insane runs like this. So they had $5 wide strikes going up to 950, or actually 940. And then they started doing the 10s, so 40, 950, 960, 970, 80, 90, 1000. Then the next available option is the 1050. So they are, I couldn't even sell a 1000 and buy a 995 right now. The smallest spread is a $10, so $1,000 risk per contract. And right now it's only given $320 to offset that. So you're risking $680 right about if you do a $10 wide spread. I think the most likely thing, or at least the most sensible thing, would be for this to come back and test this 1000 a couple times. If it can hold on to that, then we'll be in pretty decent shape. But I think we're at this point up higher than we were before the split. So we're kind of into completely uncharted territory. Pre-split we'd be at just over 5,000, like what, 5,100-ish. So when you're trying to plan a trade out that will hold through for a couple of days, usually you want to be watching for certain known levels, like this white line going up right here that's marked at 938. That's kind of the median, that's the middle. And then a standard deviation, which takes a couple things into factor, mostly what is the most likely outcome. So one standard deviation up, 976, one down, 901. So it uses like the average range that a stock moves, and then two standard deviations is that. So we're up over two standard deviations from kind of where the baseline would normally stay. That makes it very hard to plan a trade. It'd almost be more sensible at this point to look at selling a call, just because it's most likely going to come back down at least into this 1,000 to 1,015 range. But with being in completely new territory, there's no upper resistance that has been set yet besides this 1045, which we hit and then tumbled back down. So that's I'm gonna say at this point that is gonna be the next kind of major point to watch. So if we can get up over 1045.02, so I'll set an alert for 1045.03. If we get up over that, very likely we'll go on another ridiculous run. So, this has definitely been the hot one of the day. Insane. And man, I wouldn't personally think that one rental company putting in an order or a commitment to an order of 100,000 cars would be that big of a deal, because that is literally going to take them years to fulfill. They would have to, if they tried to fulfill all the orders, they would have to take their whole global supply for a whole quarter and devote it just to Hertz, and that ignores loads of customers. So it's going to be a deal that is going to be spread out over an extended period. Hey, dude, totally, it's good to see you. But yeah, I have my 10 shares that I was just doing the math on it. I think something's wrong here, but my average price is a little under 500. So on my 10 shares, I'm up 5,200. This number is correct, but this average price number is incorrect. It's about 140 over what it actually is. So, yeah, I'm pretty pumped with today, to say the least. But yeah, over, what are we at, $113 up today. So, just today, my 10 shares have gone up near $1,300. Oh, it's like days like this feel really, really good. But then when you have a day and it goes down by $50, then that's like a $500 down day. So I'm planning on holding these for a while though. So it's doing what I wanted it to do, and that was the plan since about this time last year. I think it's when I started buying the shares that I was planning to hold for an extended period. So got 3 or 4, 5. Finally got it worked up to 10 earlier this year, and yeah, that when we dropped under 5, I'd have to go back and find. There was one day earlier this year when it had dropped under 500, and it was kind of teetering around. I put an order in to buy. I think I had 7 or 8 shares at that time, and I put in to buy my other 2 or 3 at like a price that was, I think, another $15 or $20 under where it was currently at, but I had it marked to fill pre-market or after hours just in case it ever hit that. And I think pre-market one day it dropped down and hit that low point. I want to say that was the low of the year. Let me see if I can do this. What if we do 1 year, 1 day? And there we go. So we got $1,024.86 given to us for today. Okay, so I think this was it right here, back in March. That sounds about right. So that low, 539. Oh, I don't think this shows like aftermarket and pre-market in here. Cause yeah, it was just under 500 when I got my last 2 or 3 shares. Heck yeah! Man, I haven't looked at that one in a while, but man, I've been so busy with everything else. I've been running around, just trying to keep track, get all this range stuff built up. I went to my first competition on Saturday. Actually didn't get last, and I didn't get disqualified for doing stuff wrong. So, it worked pretty well. Apparently, the match that I decided to go to was one of the harder ones, so I didn't even pick an easy one to try for my first time. But, yep, that's the forever rub of doing this. When you make the wrong pick, you're always like, oh man, I shouldn't have gone in so heavy on that. And then when something works out, you're like, ooh, why didn't I get more? Why didn't I get more? So it's one of those things. I finally got to the point where I realized, you just got to take it day by day, week by week, and month by month, and be happy with the gains you get, and understand losses. They're going to completely happen. There's nobody that can be 100% right in the stock market. So yeah, that is a good one. I decided to. Yep. And that's the way, dude, that's what I did like back in 2018. I just found a couple that I thought may at some point work out, and I'm just holding on to them. So, now with the news that the Cybertruck is going to be like, this time next year before they get started on making it, unless they're doing like they did on the Model Y where they kind of sandbagged it and released it earlier. But I think they're trying to temper expectations just because, and I can totally understand it with the way the whole supply chain in the world is going right now. There's just so many problems that it's making everything just a whole nother level of frustrating. You can't get anything simple anymore. But I'm sure that it's having an effect on them getting everything together to even make the truck. But that also means I've got more time. Like, I mean, if Bitcoin does run up to 100,000 and Ethereum gets up to 50, if Ethereum ever got up to like 50 or 60,000, I'd have my Cybertruck paid off in just Ethereum. I think just a little hair over one whole Ethereum. I know I bought 1.0 sometime in 2018. It was like 390, I think. So, it's in the fours now. It's one of those things, like, that account has gotten so ridiculous that I'm afraid to even look at them. But yeah, at least one of my last updates, Ethereum was over 4,000. Chainlink's up over 30 again. Bitcoin in the 60s. I mean, that's insane. Heck yeah. Hey, dude, Ethereum's a good one. Like, it can definitely do some good things in the long term. So yeah, Ethereum, I have 1.017. I have like 1.08 Litecoin. Bitcoin 0.135. So, like I said, it totally stuff that I've just had for years that more or less forgetting about it right now. So, I think if Chainlink ever gets itself back up into the 40s. Yeah, so back when Chainlink had hit in the 50s, like, that was when my portfolio went crazy, just because I have a bunch of that. But, the other side of doing stuff is, if you can't buy a large amount of something you've got faith in at once, put away a little bit all the time, and you're just gradually growing your holdings, and over time it totally has. I mean, that's exactly what I did with Tesla. I think I started buying either 2 or 4 shares, and then I added 2, and then add 2, add 3, and eventually now I got up to 10 shares, and I mean, it's just doing excellent. So yep, dollar cost average, that is the way. At least if you're not, if you're a normal person, dollar cost averaging is completely the way to go. Plan for the long term and just add in little by little, and eventually it totally will work itself out, and go into your favor. But you also got to be aware of outside influences and things that can cause it to go against you. So lots of fun stuff to be aware of. But I bet you have noticed that since you started getting into doing this, you're much more aware of, like, the world outside of just where you live. Like, to me, that was one of the kind of bit better, I would say, benefits, is once I started learning the market and trying to figure out what would cause certain things to happen, I started paying more attention to news, like, in the state, then the country, and then paying attention to all the world news. Like, the big stuff that happens in the world can have a drastic and immediate effect on the market. And when you have money actually in the market, it forces you to make yourself become more aware and stay on top of all the news that is happening. So, there's side benefits, but then you worry all the time about if you made the right choices. So, benefits and drawbacks, but it's a good one. So, man, I'm glad you got Ethereum pumped up. So that is a good plan, good solid one to hold for that. I think that one's going to be around forever. There'll be a couple tweaks, I'm sure, here and there, but that one has the most, I think, chance for wider adoption, just in the way that it's going to be more usable in different applications. So Ethereum's definitely one to stack up as you get the funds, tuck it away and hold on to them. So cool. Well, looks like we're pushing back up after hours, trying to crack over 1,030 here. Wow. So yeah, this has definitely been a good up day. Yeah. So that's what I'm watching for. If Ethereum actually gets into the 60s, I legit will probably go ahead and just sell the one I've got now, just because that would, at current pricing, which can totally change, but at current pricing, that would pay for what I have coming on the Cybertruck. So, if that happens, that's one of the levels I'm definitely watching for. But crazy times. So I've got to get back. Lots of, oh man, the next couple weeks are just going to be full on hectic, and then hopefully that'll be the end of all the more things to do than time to get it all done in stuff. So then start relaxing a little bit and finally start editing like the 5 or 6 videos that I filmed over the summer, and try to start getting some of those put up. So they shall be coming soon. Thanks for swinging by, and I'll try to catch you on one of yours. I know probably this weekend I won't be able to, because we got inventory at work Friday and Saturday, so that's gonna take up all my time and completely drain me for next weekend. But then get through that, and then get through the next week. Got a few things going on then. Hopefully get back to the kind of winter, more chill and relaxed schedule. So thanks for coming and hanging out for a few, and I'll catch you later, dude. Alrighty, man. Everybody have a good week. See y'all.